Hey everyone, welcome back to Eiferer Home Automation. Today I'm going to share something a bit different. A dashboard I created specifically for the Decorex Show. I needed something clean, striking, and super informative. Something that will show off the power of Home Assistant automation at a glance, without overwhelming the viewer. This might not be to everyone's taste, and that's totally okay. The great thing about Home Assistant is you can adapt everything to suit your own style. Before we dive into the card itself, let me explain my layout style. I like to use a combination of vertical and horizontal stack cards in Home Assistant. It just works better for me than a grid layout. It gives me more control over spacing and alignment, especially when mixing headings, sensors, and controls. Vertical stacks allow me to organize things section by section, and inside those I use horizontal stacks to group related items neatly side by side. Now let's break down the heading card. This is the custom button card, which is available for download through Hacks. This is a label card, not as a button. The reason? It's extremely flexible when it comes to styling. This sets the display text, in this case the name of the section. It's what the user sees on the card itself. Even though it's a button card, I've disabled the tap action so nothing happens if you press it. This card is purely visual. First up in the styling section, I'm using a dark grey background to match the overall theme of the dashboard. It gives me a clean, modern feel. Then I've added a solid 2-pixel border. It helps define the edges of the card and makes it stand out without needing bright colors. The card height is set to 45 pixels to keep it compact and consistent with other header cards. These 3 lines use Flexbox to center everything inside the card, vertically and horizontally, so the title looks balanced and aligned. No drop shadow here. I wanted a flat, clean, with no extra glow or depth. The name is styled in a golden yellow color. It really pops against the dark background and helps to break up the monotony of grays and blacks. The font is made larger and bolder to give it a heading visual priority. It makes the section easy to spot at a glance. I use a negative top margin here to tweak the vertical alignment. Sometimes the text sits too low inside the card. This little adjustment brings it up into a better position. So that's the autonomy of a section heading in my dashboard. It's simple, clean, and consistent, and it really helps organize things visually when you're stacking lots of sensors, switches, and data cards. And remember, since it's a button card, you can use this exact structure anywhere. Just swap out the title and color to match the section you're building. Next, let's take a look at how I built this interactive button to control a fish tank light using a Sonoff switch. This card is connected to a real switch. In this case, switch.sonoff_fishtank_light, which controls the LED in the tank. Name light is what is shown on the card, and I'm using a toggle switch icon to match the action. Layout, icon, name, state. Put the icon on the left and the name next to it. And if you do enable it, the state will be on the right. But in my case, show state is false, keeps the design minimal. This block creates a medium height button with internal padding. I'm using Flexbox again to align everything to the left instead of centering it like the header. The rounded corners and subtle shadow give it a soft button-like feel, not too flat, not too flashy. Hardware gives it structure, and the transition adds a nice smooth animation when the styles change between states, like when the switch is turned on or off. This section adjusts the position of the icon and name. The negative left margin on the icon and the big negative margin on the name help align tightly without taking too much horizontal space. This helps when you got 2 or 3 of these buttons in a row, keeps everything balanced and consistent. When the light turns off, the background goes black, the text stays white, and the icon goes red with a red border. It visually tells you it's off without needing to read the state. When the light is on, we keep the same background, but we switch to a green icon and a green border, indicating it's active. And thanks to the transition setting, it fades smoothly instead of snapping instantly. So that's how the fish tank light button works. It's compact, color-coded, and responsive. And you can reuse this exact pattern for any light, switch, or input boolean in your Home Assistant setup. All right, we've got 2 cards to go. Next up is a live sensor card showing the daily energy consumption of the Sonoff Power CT. This card does more than just display a number. It gives you visual feedback based on thresholds, which makes it perfect for quick glances. I'm using the sensor sensor.sonoff_PowerCT_energy_day, which measures the total kilowatt hours used so far today. Name, PowerCT Daily, is the label shown on the card, and show state true. Let the actual value be displayed right on the interface. No tapping needed. If the sensor hasn't sent data yet, maybe after a reboot, it defaults to a green border and icon, keeping things calm and visually constant. If the usage goes above 2 kilowatt hours, we light it up in red, icon, text, and border, as a subtle visual flag. If your fish tank pulls more than 2 kilowatts in a day, either your heaters are stuck on, or the koi are binge watching Netflix. Between 1 and 2 kilowatt hours, the card uses a blue border and an orange icon, visually signaling moderate use. This layered styling makes it easy to scan multiple energy cards and instantly know which ones are pulling too much power. The overall style of the card matches the rest of the dashboard. Black backgrounds, soft rounded corners, and a little shadow for visual depth. Base elements, name, state, and icon are set to white by default. These only change color when the threshold base styles kick in. And finally, too much. Tapping the card gives you a full pop-up with historical graphs, which is handy if you're tracking usage over the day. So that's the PowerCT Daily Energy Card. Live, color-coded, and incredibly easy to read at a glance. This structure works great for any energy or usage sensor. Just change the entity, tweak your thresholds, and you've got an instant diagnostic tool built right into your dashboard. To wrap things up, let's look at arguably the most important card on the dashboard, the water leak sensor. This card is tied to your Sonoff SNZB05P, a Zigbee-enabled water leak detector placed near pumping points like tanks, toilets, and under basins. Entity binary_sensor.sonoff_SNZB_05P pulls in real-time leak status. The name water leak is short, sharp, and unmistakable, and I've enabled show state true, so the current status is always visible. When a water leak is detected, the card turns red, the icon changes to a water alert, and the whole card blinks to grab your attention. The animation is done with this line. It keeps blinking as long as water is detected. This card lights up and you're not near your sink, you might want to find a mop or a canoe. But on a serious note, you can link this to a smart water valve. So when a water leak is detected, you can just close the valve. When no leak is detected, the card cools off with a blue border and icon, and the simple switch to water off. It's calm but still attention worthy. Base styling and tap action is the same as the previous sensor, so I'm not going to waste any time with that. This is the kind of card that turns a smart dashboard from just convenient to potentially disaster preventing. It's simple, effective, and 100% worth including in any Home Assistant setup with plumbing or tanks involved. So that's a breakdown of the smart dashboard, designed for the Decorex Show, but totally adaptable for your own setup. We have covered 4 key elements today: a clean heading card for structure, interactive switch to control devices, dynamic power monitoring cards with color and feedback, an alert-driven water leak sensor with blinking visual warnings. Each one has its role, from organizing your layout to giving you control to catching problems before they turn into headaches. You might not use the exact same sensors, but the card logic and styling totally reusable and customizable. If this video gave you ideas for your own Home Assistant dashboard, tap like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what you would add or improve. Check out Eiferer.co.za for Sonoff switches, sensors, and specials. All locally available here in South Africa. YAML examples and links are in the description below. Thank you for watching. This is Jason from Eiferer Home Automation, where smart control means clean design. See you in the next video.